How is it going, everybody? You're watching Then About Tech, and Apple has just released iOS 15.5 to the public, and in this video I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. So first I'm going to talk about all of the new features and changes, and then I'm going to talk about battery life, performance, bug fixes, and last but not least, if you should update or not. So let's get started, and the first thing I want to talk about has to do with your wallet, more specifically with your Apple Pay Cash, which is now called Apple Cash, as you can see right here. And the new change is pretty much this new interface, which now will say request or send under your Apple Cash card. But this will only be shown to you if you have it set it up. As you can see, I don't have it set it up right now because it's only available in the US and I'm not currently in the US. But as you can see right here, it'll say request and send right under Apple Cash, which makes our life so much easier because now we can simply send a request straight here from the wallet app without having to open messages or ask Siri. So this cuts a ton of steps. So this is very, very cool right here for your Apple Cash users. Next, let's talk about a new feature for Apple Podcasts. So if we open the settings app and we scroll all the way down, keep scrolling until you see podcasts, as you can see right there. And if you scroll down a bit more, you see automatically download. And if you tap here, we have a bunch of new options on how to manage our downloaded episodes. And this is very, very good, especially if you use Apple Podcasts a lot like myself, because with those options right here, you can manage your iPhone storage in a much easier way. Because as you know, people who tend to listen to a ton of podcasts will save a lot of podcasts, and this will eat your iPhone storage so easily. And with this option, you can choose how to download and keep those episodes. So you can set you off, for example, so it will not download any episodes automatically, or latest episode per show, or 2 latest, 3 latest, 5 latest, 10 latest. So if you subscribe to a podcast, for example, and you have this option turned on, so 5 latest episodes per show, what this will do is it'll just store the latest 5, and then it'll start deleting, it'll start removing the older ones. So the 6th, 7th, 8th episode, and from that moment on. And you can also choose from a specific time, so last 24 hours, last 7 days, last 14 days, and so on. Next, let's talk about the Home app. So if you are a Home app user, if you have a ton of smart gadgets in your house, you may have noticed this. So before iOS 15.5, there was a big problem here in the Home app where if you had an automation that would do some action when you arrive home or leave home, like for example, unlock or lock your door, it would fail a lot. And this was a problem. Apple noticed it and then they fixed in iOS 15.5. So then you shouldn't have this problem anymore related to smart gadgets and activation in automation regarding location. All right? It almost rhymed. Now let's talk about some overall improvements and bug fixes. And the first one has to do with your storage. So if you tap here on settings, and then scroll down and tap on general and then iPhone storage, you'll see that this section of your iPhone storage will load much faster. As you just saw, just a few seconds and it loaded completely. Prior to 15.5, this would take ages to load, and on many iPhones it just wouldn't load at all. On top of that, if we scroll all the way down until we see system data, many users reported that iOS 15.5 fixed an issue that would make the system data section get too large. But as you can see here, it didn't work for me. It's not my case. So as you can see here, I have over 16 gigabytes on my system data, and after updating to iOS 15.5, it got larger. It was 14, now it's over 16. So didn't fix for me, but it fixed for a ton of users who were saying that after updating, it would go as low as 5 gigabytes. Another issue that beta users claimed that iOS 15.5 fixed had to do with overheating. So on previous versions of iOS 15, like 15.4.1 and 15.4, many iPhones were getting hot, were overheating, and as I said, many reports were saying that this was fixed in iOS 15.5. But unfortunately, that's not my case either. It's actually quite the opposite. So my iPhone wasn't overheating at all in 15.4.1, and it is overheating now in 15.5. As you can see, even the display has dimmed a little bit just from recording this video, and you can actually notice the difference from when I started the beginning of the video and now, and that's due to overheating. My iPhone is pretty hot right now, and my iPhone is on full brightness, but it's just not getting too bright because of overheating. So again, another thing that in theory iOS 15.5 should fix, and it just made my iPhone worse. Now let's talk about battery life. And honestly, I couldn't tell any difference from the few hours I've been using iOS 15.5. It's pretty much the same, and you shouldn't expect anything better than iOS 15.4.1 or 15.4. It's pretty much the same. Don't expect a better battery performance. It's pretty much the same. The only difference you may see is that if you were having battery drain issues that 15.4.1 was supposed to fix, maybe now in iOS 15.5 it will fix. But if you're not having those kind of issues, if your battery was already okay, it will be okay. It will continue like that. It won't get worse. It won't get better in iOS 15.5. And the same thing regarding performance. I couldn't tell any difference regarding performance about the system, about iOS being more fluid or faster or snappier or anything like that. The feeling is exactly the same. So don't expect any difference in performance. Even on older iPhones, it's pretty much the same thing. And for my final verdict, should you update or not? And my answer is yes, you should update to iOS 15.5. It is a good software update. It has new features, bug fixes, security updates, and all of that. And if you're thinking about the issues I mentioned on my iPhone, like the storage thing on system data and the problem about overheating, I'm sure that's an isolated case. And I'm saying that because I've tested on different devices. I've tested on my iPhone 8, on an iPhone 11, and they were all perfect. And the community, the beta users, the community as a whole are having awesome experiences with iOS 15.5. So again, that's an isolated scenario. But if you're skeptical and you don't want to run the risk of having those same issues that I'm having here on my iPhone, like storage problems, overheating, and all that, because like I was unlucky, maybe you will be unlucky as well. Don't worry, my recommendation is wait a few days, 1 week maximum, because Apple will release iOS 15.5.1 and they will fix those issues for sure. So again, if you want to be super safe, just wait a few days and wait for iOS 15.5.1. So that's it. That's pretty much what I wanted to give you, everything you need to know about iOS 15.5. If you like the video, please make sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe button and little bell icon, and of course, hit the comment box down below with your thoughts about my video, because your feedback is always extremely important. So that's it, and I'll see you in the next video as usual. Bye bye.